Well, here we are with Stevie. We're going to do our Copa team of the tournament in what we think it's going to be. I think we're probably better off to explain the rules again. What we're going to be doing here, you're going to be doing it as a draft-style pick, 4-3-3 system. We'll go with that. Stevie, yeah? Yes. You happy with that?
Happy with that.
And then we will go alternate picks. So we'll go whichever area of the field we want to pick up. We don't necessarily need to go goalkeeper, defence, midfield or whatever. We just pick any...
Best player first.
Best player first, or how we think our team should be lined up.
Right.
So, Stevie, I'll let you go first.
OK.
Let you go first this time, so you can have the first pick.
I'll take the first pick. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
It was really kind of you.
No, absolute pleasure.
OK, let's look at this. 4-3-3, first pick. I don't even know why I'm analysing this. Obviously, the best player in the world, the best player of all time, the best player in this tournament, Lionel Messi. He's going to be on the right-hand side for me, where he loves to play, that little pocket. Off the right, of course, he'll drift everywhere, but that's predominantly where he'll pick up his position from. Messi, Argentina.
I don't think there's anything to be said, really, is there?
No.
I'm convinced he's going to have a major tournament again.
Yeah.
He's going to be so instrumental to what Argentina do. If Argentina do go on and win Copa, it will be absolutely down to him, won't it? We know that, so that's pretty much how it's going to go.
His talent and the way that everyone backs him, does the work for him, puts in the running, is key to the success of this team.
I had Messi as my pick. I did have Messi as my pick.
No surprise.
Well. So where am I going here then? So I'm going to go, Stevie. I'm going to go with another forward player.
Right.
I'm going to go the other side of the field. I'm going to go with Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr.
Yeah.
Outstanding season, big game player, Stevie. Brilliant in, you know, the big moments. I think that's what Vinny Jr. is. He's a big moment player, and I think that fits perfectly into how Brazil are going to play him. Left-hand side, outstanding season, as I said. I think he's going to go well in this tournament.
I think this guy's next in line to take over this fella Messi's mantle in terms of the best player in the world. He's unbelievable, week in, week out for Real Madrid. Just his ability to have big moments in games, carry the football, his decision-making, his determination as well.
Do you know what I would say as well, Stevie? I think he has the ability even to drop back. You know, I'm not necessarily saying he's going to be great defensively,
but he gets into good positions.
Modern-day player has to have that mindset. I'm going to fill a hole. I'm going to stop players playing through me. And we know how sides like to build up from the back. I think he's high press. He's excellent.
Yeah.
I think he does get caught out maybe on the positional side at times. That's maybe a slight weakness to his game, but on the ball, in this area, I think he's dynamic. I think he's going to be excellent again.
Yeah, stretching defences as well, creating space for Paquetá or Bruno or whoever's going to play in that area. Right, I'm going to go with his teammate, actually, in a midfield role. I'm going to go with Federico Valverde from Uruguay. As you know, as you've criticised in the past, this is one of my favourite players in the world.
Well, I think you actually described him as the best midfielder in the world.
I think he could be the best two-way midfielder in the world.
Could or is.
Listen, this guy plays for the biggest club in the world. Yeah. He is absolutely outstanding. He carries the ball forward, he defends, he scores goals, he can play wide, he can play inside, he can play in the front line, sets presses. I love this guy. Yes, I know he's not flamboyant and I know that he doesn't have the skill of some of the other midfielders in world football, but I think determination, grit, drive, winning mentality, this guy for me is absolutely vital. He would be in my team, any team, world team he would be in for me.
I'd agree with you on what you were saying at the end there. You know, just for grit, determination, ability to win the ball, pass it simple and hit long passes as well. I think he does have that. World elite level, I don't think so, Steve.
Not got the killer pass?
No, I don't think he does. I think if I'm looking at it in Kevin De Bruyne terms or maybe one or two others in world football that can make that pass to dictate a game or open a game up, that's the one thing I don't think he has. But outstanding, and it's a great pick. Nonetheless, a great pick. I'm going to go into the base of midfield, Stevie, for my next pick, and I think he will play for Brazil. I'm going to go for Newcastle's Bruno Guimaraes, and I think the way that he plays... Oh, sorry, he's going to be on the right-hand side, as an 8 in this team for me, Stevie. But why I'm picking him is I think Brazil are going to have a great tournament. I think they do. I've gone with 2 Brazilians to start off. And I think the way that Brazil now have been adapting, there'll be no Casemiro at this Copa. You know, we know now it's the changing of the guard almost with a lot of sides around. And I think the way that he plays, and I think that he's perfect for what Brazil do. Yeah. And I think he's an outstanding footballer.
I'm glad you said 8. I'm glad you put him there, Kev, because I don't think he has the discipline to play that 6. You know, just be the lone pivot at the bottom of the midfield. Let him go roam. Let him show his ability to pick up different areas, pick up the football in different areas, be effective. He's a great player. He's loved by Newcastle fans. He's had another great season in the Premier League. a little erratic for me at times, but, you know, I've went for the kind of functional, box-to-box kind of guy. You've went for the flair. OK, we're starting to see a little bit of a theme here, but I'm going to stick with the Brazil theme when I go for my goalkeeper. Best goalie in the world. You can't argue with this. Alisson Becker. Come on.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think he's number one, and number one for a reason. I think distribution with his feet, excellent. I think big save, Stevie, shot stopping. I think it's something that's overlooked now. And I think as we're analysing goalkeepers, it overlooks as about how you dominate the box, but big saves at big times. And I think Alisson absolutely fits the bill for that.
In a knockout tournament, Kev, you know the goalie's going to have a big moment at any point in the game. This is a guy for that, isn't he? 1v1,
brilliant,
best in the world. Comes for crosses. Slight concern, if I'm going to nitpick, is a few games injured this season.
Yes, that's true.
Is there a little injury concern me, maybe a bit of rhythm, but best goalie in the tournament, best goalie in the world.
I can't argue with that, Stevie. I'm going to go for... you've not even gone for one defender yet, one centre-half. I'm going to start off the trend and go now with the defenders. Coming over, I want to hear what you've got to say on this guy. Marquinhos is what I'm going for, or who I'm going for, should I say. Again, instrumental for what Brazil are going to do at the tournament, because they have been erratic defensively at times. As we saw in the World Cup, they kind of capitulated when the pressure was really on, but this guy has been the mainstay. I think now he's getting to the experienced player, you know, even without Thiago Silva in there alongside him as well. I think he's outstanding, Stevie, and I think he could have a big tournament for Brazil. And again, much as I said about Vinny Jr. has to have a big tournament if Brazil are going to succeed, I've gone with 3 Brazilians. I didn't actually realize I've gone with 3 Brazilians to start with. But Marquinhos, brilliant defender, and I think he'll have a big tournament.
I've no complaints. I've been a huge admirer of this guy for a long, long time, Kev. He is a brilliant player. He is good on the ball. He's adaptable as well. I'm good with you having him on the left. He's capable of playing even full-back at a push if you need him. He'll step forward. Great in the air. Very, very big threat from set plays, this guy. Near post runs, gets a lot of goals for PSG like that. Happy with him there. Very good player.
I'm glad
one of my guys. I would have had him on my side.
I'm glad you're happy with him as well, because I'm unsure at times which position you like to put players in anyway. But go on, where are you going?
I'll go centre-back as well then. I'll stick with centre-back. Ronald Araujo, Barcelona.
Yes.
I'm going to put him in at right centre-back. Now, there's some flexibility with this guy, as most of these world-class players have. They can play in 1 or 2 different positions.
I have to cough, Stevie, again. I mean, I find myself coughing with a lot of your positions.
You want to say he's a right-back? Is that what you're saying?
He plays right-back. He does play right-back, Stevie. So.
He plays centre-back also, especially for Uruguay.
OK.
So I think they're going to put him in there. I think he'll be in that central position for his country. He's a player who has tremendous athleticism. See, when he's at right-back, for me, he's lacking a little bit in the last third. He's missing that little bit of guile, that final pass. I think his physicality, I don't know what, 6'4", 6'5", this guy, he's incredible in the air. He can cover his channels. He's got everything that the top defenders have. So I'm going to put him in the middle here. I'm going to ask him to marshal that middle of that defence and stick with him in that position.
I thought once you pick Messi, you go straight to centre-half. So I'm glad now that I'm going to pick up the best bit of this. I'm going for another centre-half, Stevie, right side, Christian Romero. Honestly, Stevie, I think this guy's getting better and better. I think he's really turning himself into the next level defender. I think he might end up leaving Spurs at some stage in the near future, to be honest with you, Stevie. But brilliant player. Great defender, and I think he's getting better. And again, I always look to you when I'm talking about defenders. I look to you and what you think of them, because you've been my go-to guy. But I do think this centre-half partnership, if they were together, I think they'd work brilliantly well together.
Look, you've got the brains and the composure of Marquinhos. You've got the aggression and the front-footedness of Romero. Yeah. You know, and so as a partnership at centre-back, you always want to have complements of each other, and maybe if one is lacking in one area, the other fills that gap. So I'll give you that on these two. Mentality with this guy, isn't it? That's what's holding him back. He's an outstanding player. Really good in the ball, really good defensively. Does he have the mentality for the highest level? He always wants to kick somebody. He always wants to get involved in something. He's going to have to keep his composure. I know he's done it in the past for Argentina at the highest level, but this tournament he's going to get targeted. He's getting targeted more and more as being that hothead. He's going to have to stay calm. But I do like him in there, Kevin. He's an excellent player. I'll go up top, right? My next pick, I will go the young whiz kid, exciting talent for Brazil, Endrick. I'm going to put him in at number 9 now.
Is he going to start every game?
Well, it's a question. It is. I did think about that. I did think, is this guy ready to start every game. Maybe he doesn't start the tournament, but I think he's going to get minutes. As he gets minutes, I think he's got the star quality to grab that shirt. This guy's unbelievable. He comes into the fold at 16, 17 years old, scoring goals right away. This is a generational talent. This is an outstanding football player. He's someone who can change a game in an instant. He's got the touch is absolutely sublime, and of course he can get the goals. Maybe a little bit early, but I've put my neck on the line, said he's going to get minutes, then he's going to end up finding himself in the start line-up by the knockout stages.
Unusual for you, you've actually gone all out on this one, so it's you're very conservative normally. Yeah, you like to sit on the fence, but that's a great pick. It is a great pick just to see how he goes, because I think we're all going to be having our eyes on him. Now I'm going to left back with my next pick, Stevie. Probably one of the best, if not the best, fullback in the Premier League this season. Now, maybe people are thinking about who I'm going to go to here, but I'm going with USA's Anthony Robinson.
OK. A little controversial here.
No, not in my opinion, Steve. I think he's going to move this summer. I think Liverpool and Chelsea both sniffing around him heavily right now. I think he could be gone. In so many stats this season, if you're a stats guy, which we would always try to use them, but use a stat, but we'd always look with our eye to see how someone's performing. And outstanding, Stevie, up and down the line, brilliant. Defensively, I think that's where he's really excelled this year, in tackles, in duels, and all the credible stats I would probably look at when you're looking at fullbacks. He fits the bill perfectly. I think if USA, and I think USA have got a decent enough draw, I think USA will get out, and I think Anthony Robinson will be playing every game, and it's a good one, in my opinion, to put in there at left back.
I think he lacks the quality. I got to say, I think he lacks the quality at that highest level. I do think athleticism's not an issue for him. His speed is unbelievable. He's had a great season. I'll give you all of that. I just don't know if he's got the top level quality to get that move to a Champions League side in the Premier League. But we'll see. I'll give you it.
All right.
OK, next pick for me is Romero's Argentinian teammate, Nicolas Otamendi.
Oh.
Now, I know what you're going to say. This guy's getting on a bit in years. This guy is vulnerable. This guy's shaky. All the things. I know what you're going to say. But this guy for his country is so consistent.
Really?
He's there all the time with Romero. He's one of Scaloni's first picks. He loves this guy. He does so well. Watched so many games of Argentina in the lead up to this tournament. He's solid. He's consistent. He's unbelievable in the air. Once they go in the lead and they sort of hold that box, this guy never gets beat. He's dominant in the air. I've went for him. I got to say, I do think that it surprises me a little bit. I wasn't his biggest fan at Manchester City, but I think he's actually got a little bit better later in his career in terms of understanding when he can win balls, when he has to drop off, and positionally he's got a little bit more cute as he's got a little older. So I'm going to go for Otamendi.
Great pick for how he plays for Argentina, but the one word I would use to describe Nicolas Otamendi definitely wouldn't be solid. So I'll go with you on that. Well, now let's see. I'm going up top, Stevie, on this one. I'm trying to follow you. I wouldn't have gone Endrick, actually. Now, we had a couple of choices here, really, to go with. You've left me wide open here on this one. Out of my two picks, now they're both available because you've gone with Endrick. I'm going to go with Jonathan David. Now, controversial, let's see how Canada's going to go. So essentially, it kind of is a controversial pick. But if I'm looking at number 9s in this tournament, as a number 9, for what they've done across the course of the season and maybe beyond that, I have to go with David. Alvarez was the other one I was going to go with, of course, the Argentinian international. And I think Johnny David is better than him, potentially better than him as well for his next move. Let's just see where he's going to go. I think his hold-up play is improving so much. It's something that I've maybe even spoken to you about, that I think he can improve that side of his game, Stevie. I think sometimes it's not necessarily always there, but he's finishing. And I think this season as well, that all-round game did come to. I'm going with Johnny Davis, Steve. And you've worked with him, so you know him, worked with him up close, you know him a lot better than I do.
A huge fan, Kevin. I really, really like Jonathan Davis. I think he's a brilliant player. He's going to get his big move this summer. Then we're going to see him at a higher level, in good form, had a great season. One of the best defensive number 9s I've ever seen. his positional play, in terms of pressing, in terms of looking after the shape of the team, getting behind the ball, absolutely brilliant. We know he can put the ball away. He's going to do it at the highest level with very few chances.
Will he get the chances?
That's the thing.
Maybe the thing.
He's going to get one chance again. Can he bury it? Can he be sharp enough to put it away for Canada in better form than Alvarez? So I like that pick. I'm going to commend you on that one.
Good man.
I'm going to say well done. Back to mine. So I'm going to go back to number 6. Another little bit of controversial one here for me, right? But I watched this guy in the Europa League final a few weeks ago, playing for Atalanta, Brazilian number 6. There's not many times, Kevin, you watch a player.
I wouldn't have thought you'd gone with him, but I'm glad you saw him. I'm glad you saw him.
Brazil and Atalanta. I watched this guy play in that game and I was blown away. I'd seen a little bit of him, but the performance, the maturity, the legs, the energy, defensively, getting forward, just everything you expect in a Brazilian 6.
Will he play? Will he play,
Well,
Stevie?
it's a big question, you know, and it's the same as Hendrick, so I've been a little bit flamboyant here going for these two, but I do think that they're lacking that 6. You know, you talked about Bruno maybe in that position. He might end up there. You know, Casemiro's gone.
Yes.
Fabinho was in there a bit. They're missing that guy. Might be João Gomes from Wolves. There's some players that could go in there, but I think this guy's better than them.
Okay.
And so I think as they go through the tournament and they have some training, he's going to come to the fore. I think he's hungry. He's ready to grab the shirt.
And his trajectory, Stevie.
Yes, and he's going like that. And I think he's going to get in this team. So I've went for Ederson in there, and I think by the end of the tournament, he's going to be there or thereabouts for team of the tournament.
Honestly, towards the back end, I saw Atalanta before that Europa League final a couple of times at the end of the season. Outstanding, really was. Had a good season especially, but in that game, in that Europa League final, he kind of set the tone for them. He almost won them the game. I know that Ademola Lookman got the hat-trick in it, but he was the guy that set the tone for them, and it was an outstanding performance. It really was. I'm going to stick with the 6, Stevie. I'm going to stick with the base of midfield. I'm going to go with Chelsea's Enzo Fernandez. Now, maybe I'm kind of breathing heavy saying it because I don't think he's been at his very best this season. Unbelievable ability, Stevie. Passing ability, a little bit erratic at times without the ball. The one thing that you found, his relationship with Caicedo in midfield, who's another one that I could have gone with at the base of midfielder. I think he's got the ability, though, to really go on to the next level. It's just not quite happened at Chelsea as a club. I think next season they'll be more stable, and I think we'll probably see the best of him. So Enzo, you know, what did he go for? $120 million, $150 million, whatever it was. Outstanding player, Steve, and I think he's going to get better. And if Argentina go well in this tournament, it'll be down to how they perform in midfield. Slight injury concern, yes, maybe around him, I don't know, but I think that's the one I'm really looking forward to seeing him this tournament, actually.
I think he's a wonderful player. I don't think we see the best of Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea yet, but we're going to see more. But I think injury concerns, he's been out at the end of the season. I think it was a groin. They say he's going to be back, but we'll keep an eye on that. But fantastic for Argentina.
Yes.
That is his number 1 position. Sometimes plays off the left for Argentina.
Yes.
And the guy that I'm going to pick actually on my left is the player that he sort of mixes it up with, another Argentinian Premier League midfielder, Alexis McAllister. So there's some debate here. I'll put him off the left because to me this is his best position, Kevin. He plays off the left, he drifts inside, he gets back into a good defensive role. Brilliant for Argentina. When he roams for Liverpool, I think he's even better. When you put him at the base of that midfield, I don't think it's his greatest strength. I don't think that he sees a lot round about him. Defensively, I think he has some gaps in his game. But when he's in this role, I think he's outstanding. What a season he's had at Liverpool.
Oh, brilliant. And you know what, Stevie? You know, I've just come over to you. It's his ability to cover so much ground, as you say. Maybe not the ability. DePaul's another one that's in the amount of runners they've got in that side, and they need it. They need it because of Messi. They need runners in that side. So I can't argue with that.
He's drifting in here that he's so dangerous. He starts on the left and he comes into these kind of zones, and he gets the passes from an Enzo or from a Romero at the back line. Once they start playing into these zones, that's when Messi comes alive on the opposite side.
Yeah, right, Stevie. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go back to up front. I'm going to go with the right side of my attacker, the one position that I've got left to pick up there. I'm going to go with Liverpool's Luis Diaz. Brilliant player, Stevie. Outstanding.
Is he a right-sider?
Well, I'm just judging. I'm going by what you've done and how you've interchanged positions at times.
I don't think ever makes it to the right side of the attack for Liverpool.
Sometimes he has played as a 9. Sometimes, obviously, predominantly at the left.
I'll check the stats on that.
As you'll find with most modern day players, Stevie, they're interchangeable. They're the attacking players, and they have to be adaptable if they're going to be surviving in the modern game.
You don't even look like you believe it yourself.
No. Luis Diaz. Now, you know what though? I'm genuinely looking forward to watching him at this tournament. Let's see. Colombia are a good side. Bit of the dark horses for this tournament. We could have picked maybe 1 or 2 other players in other positions as well, Stevie, but Luis Diaz is the main man in the final third of the field for them. Such a great attacking player.
So exciting.
And another one, Stevie, where don't necessarily excel with we can talk about a few of these that are not necessarily excelling with the clubs.
Yeah.
And Luis Diaz is probably a bit like that. Doesn't always really get the best of him for Liverpool, but when he plays for Colombia, this guy's electric, and I'm looking forward to watching him. And as I said, he's interchangeable, Stevie. He might end up on the left-hand side. He may be over here at times. He may be through the middle, but he's an attacking player, Stevie. And I've got to go with him. And are you going to give me him?
You can have him, I guess, but he's a left-sided player. There's no doubt this guy is a left-sided player coming inside, playing inside.
I'm just going by 1 or 2 of your
Mine's
picks
is fine. Mine's is fine, but you can go to that. But you know, I'll pick my left side, and another interchangeable player, actually, Real Madrid's Rodrigo. We're going to go with the Brazilian on this left-hand side.
Well, we got Vinny Jr.
Well,
Vinny Jr. plays in the left, Stevie.
As you've seen in the Champions League at Real Madrid, these 2 guys overload the left-hand side a lot. Rodrigo plays as a false 9. He can play anywhere.
Interchangeable is what I said.
Very interchangeable. OK, I'll give you it this time, since it's my team we're talking about.
Okay.
What a player this guy is. He's underrated. He's probably got his more spectacular teammate, let's say, and compatriot at Real Madrid and Vinny Jr. But this guy's outstanding. I love this guy. I really like the way that his career's developed. He's took a little bit longer than maybe some of the others, but he's maturing. He's shown some tremendous composure in attack. When he gets in the position, this guy normally buries the chance. So I'll put him in my lineup there, and I do think he'll have a great tournament.
Good pick, Stevie. I like him. I'm not too sure he plays on the left, but that's maybe for another day as well. We'll have that one. We'll have that debate further down the line as well. Right, my next pick. A couple of positions I've got to be filling here as well. But you know what, Stevie? I'm going to go in goal. One or the other. Whoever you picked, I think you would have gone with the other one. Whoever I picked, I think you would have gone anyway. So I'm going to go with Argentina's Emiliano Martinez. Probably the greatest save ever in a World Cup final. Probably the greatest save ever, particularly given the meaning of it in the World Cup final. That save in the last, 120th minute of the game. Unbelievable moment for him. Goalkeeper of the tournament. Brilliant season for Aston Villa in qualifying for the Champions League again this season, Stevie. Has been injured. My only concern with him, he has been injured a little bit towards the back end of the season. But what a goalkeeper. If you're saying Alisson, and I probably agree, he's the best in the world, this guy's top 3 or 4 in the world. Playing Champions League football might keep him at Villa for another season, but I expect him probably, or there'll be a lot of interest in him over the next couple of seasons. What a goalkeeper.
Big fan of his. Absolute nuisance. Winds people up, does all the things you expect, but is a tremendous goalkeeper. And in big moments, again, we talked about Alisson, we said big moments. This is another guy. Big moments, he comes up, he makes a save, makes a catch, saves a penalty, whatever it may be. Good choice, Kevin. Left back for me. Canada's own Alphonso Davies. Putting him in here. This lad's the best left back in the tournament. This lad's best position is left back. There's no doubt about that. He is an up-and-down player. He's a player that comes, forward onto the ball when he's got his back to the goal. I don't think he's as effective as he can be. When he comes onto things and he can use that pace, he can get it on the switch. He's absolutely devastating. For me, Jesse Marsh will be building a lot of things around Alphonso Davies coming on that switch over to the left-hand side and being direct, offensive, and trying to create chances or goal-scoring opportunities for your man Jonathan David and others, or putting it in the back of the net himself. I think he's a left-back. I've put him in there. It's not a blessed position at this tournament, Kev, so to me he's the best in the tournament.
I've respected you and let you talk there. You've gone on probably slightly...
Thank you. You really interrupted me 3 times.
Slightly too long. Well, you could see my face wanting to interrupt you. He's not going to play left-back, Stevie. We know he's highly likely to play as a left winger. So if you had him instead of Rodrigo, perhaps I'd have gone with it as well. I would have picked him instead of Anthony Robinson as my left back. Of course I would have done.
So, in your opinion, his best position is left midfield?
I'm not saying that.
Wing.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying where he will play for Jesse Marsch's Canada is highly likely to be on the left-hand side of midfield or left attacker. So I'm going to give it you because I agree in what you're saying. He probably is the best left-back, best attacking left-back in world football right now. But I don't think he's going to play there for Canada going forward. It doesn't look likely anyway. That's the way that I'm probably judging what Jesse Marsch is saying. So I'm going to give it because we have to get Alphonso Davies into this team.
Right, and so what I'll say on that is I totally agree that Jesse Marsch might try and play him higher up.
Or might or will.
There is no way.
Or will.
What I'm going to say is there is no way that Canada go 3 games in this tournament without him playing at least 1 game at left back.
OK, would you pick him over Rodrigo up front?
I would not. No.
No?
No. I don't think it's his strength. He's better coming onto the play.
Champions League quarter-final onto his right foot.
He come on as a
corner.
substitute. He scored a great goal.
Yeah.
But this guy's outstanding strength, world-class strength, is coming on the switch, onto the ball, with his pace. Nobody can stop him. He's got to be playing in a deeper position. Maybe a wing-back's probably the hybrid of the two, is his best position. But I've got him in at left-back in a 4-3-3 formation.
All right. OK, well, I can't argue with it. I can't argue with what you're saying as a left-back. I don't think he's going to play there. That's my only thing why I never went with Alphonso Davies as my left-back, Stevie. So, anyway, it's for another day. We'll talk about this down the line as well.
I'm sure we'll have many more discussions about it.
It is. I'm glad you didn't go right-back because you could have left me wide open. I think getting to this area was Araujo was another one I actually had in there as my right-back. You obviously picked him as a centre-back. Playing out of position, right. I suppose. But I'm going to go with Juventus Danilo. Again, another Brazilian. I've got how many Brazilians I've got in my side there? That's my 4th Brazilian. Very good defensively, Stevie, I think, as well. I think he's adapted his game, I think, as he's got older. I think we commonly saw him as an attacking fullback getting forward, but I think his game has improved on the defensive side. So I think Danilo will have a good tournament. Again, if Brazil are going to go well, I think he'll be playing. So I can't look further than Danilo, and I think he's going to play for Brazil at right back.
Past his best. Past his best for me. Absolutely past his best. Difficult position.
Why is he past his best, do you think?
I don't think that he's got the quality at this level. I don't think going forward's his strength. I think the modern-day fullback's going to be very, very capable and adaptable. He's tried that drifting inside, that inverted fullback. He looks a little bit awkward in there for me. But I'll give you it because I think he'll start. There's another guy for Brazil that we should give an honourable mention to, Jan Couto, who's had a brilliant season in Girona in La Liga. Another City product, Jan Couto, very, very good player. Might be in a battle with Danilo for that position, depending on they want defence or attack. I'll go right back as well, Kevin. Like I just said, not a blessed position in this tournament as we look over every team and who they've got.
I agree.
But I've went with another veteran, believe it or not, Chilean Mauricio Isla. I've picked him in at right back. He's just came back into the fold.
Yeah.
He's playing again in the national team under Ricardo Gareca. Look, he's been a great player. A lot of games in Serie A. Loves to get forward. He's a smart football player. Yes, he's lost a step. He doesn't have the athleticism.
Yes,
but I still think that in the right kind of team, the right kind of setup, he can be very effective. He's someone who will need not 2 invitations to get forward. As soon as it starts to swing around, you'll expect him to be high and wide and an option for Chile in that position every single time.
Well, you've gone with a Chilean and a Canadian fullback.
Interesting.
One of those teams won't get out because Argentina will absolutely get out. So that's going to be an interesting one, how that develops.
We'll see what happens.
So you've left yourself wide open a little bit there, Steve.
Oh, well, anyway, I just didn't want to keep picking Brazilians like you know.
So. Yeah, I've gone for the easy ones. Is that right? No, but I would say outstanding career. And I think, almost as if they respect the elderly players, they respect what they've brought to the team, what they've brought to the nation within a lot of South American countries. And I think he'll be the guy that will play with pride. I think he will be absolutely part of if Chile get out, he will be the main man that's going to get them out. One of the main guys that's going to get them out.
Gareca's brought all of them back, hasn't he? Vargas as well up top.
Yes.
He's done the right thing. He's went for the golden generation, bring them back for one last tournament. Yeah,
exactly. That's right. Right, my last pick. Look, we've not even put a Mexican player in. I'm going to put a Mexican player in now. And now, there's a lot of maybe talk around what Mexico are going to do. They've probably been a little bit in a transitional period over the last few years. I watched them play against Argentina in the World Cup a couple of years ago, Stevie. The performance that they put in that game and what they did to stop Messi. I know Messi had that great moment that got him out. So I'm going with Alvarez, Stevie, on the left-hand side in here in this position. I think he's a player that's at the right age. I think he will get better and better for Mexico if they can build a better side around him. And I think he's the player I think will excel at this tournament, Stevie.
Out and out six, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's where you've got him in a position there where, again, as we talk about attacking players, Stevie, it's about interchangeable. You've mentioned that word several times.
Six playing on the left side of a three.
No, but you've mentioned to me. Well, no,
I think
because
you've got your personnel wrong. You might have moved Enzo there.
Well, we could go with a 4-3-2-1 or 4-2-3-1. Sorry, we could have Gomez playing as a 10 off a strike. You know, we could have many different things within that system, Stevie. I like Alvarez. As I said, Stevie, it's adaptable. The word that you've used several times throughout this, Stevie. So I'm going with your.
Listen, I like Alvarez, but I think and Robinson. It's a hard push to say that they're going to be some of the best players in the tournament.
And you know what, Stevie, is we go on through and we'll be looking at this tournament. It's highly likely it's going to come down to Brazil and Argentina towards the back end of it. Who is going to win the tournament and how both teams are going to adapt. We've obviously picked several players. A lot of the players from Argentina and Brazil that's going to come out. They're going to dominate the tournament. History has suggested they've dominated the tournament. Uruguay and Colombia.
Well,
I'm looking at other sides in the US.
If it's not an Argentina-Brazil final, who disturbs that?
Yeah, well, USA, home soil. Let's be honest. We've not got. You know, Tyler Adams. We could have put in here as well. Why not? Pulisic, another one. Why not? Why have we not got him in? Weston McKennie. You know, we've got players that we could have put in here as well. And I'm looking at it. I know I've got Anthony Robertson in there, but I'm looking at the US on home soil. It's almost to me like this is going to be. We are building for that World Cup.
Yeah.
Do they really believe they can go on? I'm sure that the comments will be yes, we can go and win this tournament. I don't think they've got enough quality, Stevie, throughout. I don't think they're really going to be able to compete with Argentina and Brazil, or even when it comes down to it, someone like Uruguay, because I think they have more game nous than them. And I just don't see it. But I think it's interesting that neither of us have really picked outside the one. We've not really gone with USA players as well.
I don't think they have huge individual quality and skill. That's maybe the reason. You know, we're looking at them, we're talking about the players, excellent players, and a pretty solid side, but I don't think they have the difference makers. Like, we're picking guys here that make a difference. Both sides, up top, we see guys that'll win a game when it's tight, when it's a knockout, and I just don't think the US have that. They're going to have to rely on the build-up of positive momentum in their own country. Big crowds, obviously they'll be hoping it'll be mostly US fans in these stadiums, but that is their only hope of getting really far in this tournament for me. They're lacking the real game changers.
Well, that's our teams. Let's see how they go. The usual bet, Stevie. Is that what it is? Couple of pints. Couple of pints.
For that.
There you go.
Good luck.
You go. Here we go.